Okay then, Matt, so let's look at the putting now in terms of your setup. As you said yourself, you do actually stand to the golf ball, pretty similar to how you stand to your long game, creating an angle there which you'd expect to see with your arms on the shaft. The problem with putting is when your hands are in that position, it creates the ability for your wrist to get quite active and cause that club to come along on the inside, and a lot of rotation through the golf ball. So from a consistency standpoint, as we can see with these putts here on the right hand side, we got kind of one then out to the right, one long, one short, and just a lot of variance there in terms of the swing. The club face now rotating a lot on the way back. Club face at this point now aiming a long way off to the right there as you then come through. Club face aiming a long way to the left, and yeah, it's a little bit inconsistent with that movement there. So in terms of the setup, what we want to try to really sort of focus on is getting yourself into this position where we get the golf club now a little bit more in line with the form. Now you can see here now it's nearer. It could go a little bit more. I think to start with, it'd feel quite strange changing as much as you have to get to that correct position. So doing it gradually over time is probably a better way of doing it, but getting your head and the top of the shoulders there a little bit flatter to the sky. So when your shoulders are rocking back and forth now, rather than rocking on a slight angle in this position, okay, they're going to be rocking on a more vertical angle. So the club now, as we can see when it goes back, it's going to be going back a little bit more kind of on line towards target. But the edge head's gone down a bit better there, to be fair. Top of the spine now and the shoulders as that club is going to go back. It's working a little bit more sort of on line with the hole as we come through. Striking the ball there. Not a bad strike, a little bit toey, but obviously a change of position now is going to feel a bit strange. But the club now you can see swinging here a lot more kind of towards target, and a lot smaller movement really with a better strike, as opposed to how much movement there was with kind of that one. There's almost like a bit of hip rotation and lower half movement there with that club. Very sort of similar to how you would almost play a chip shot or a pitch shot. So adjusting that setup with the putting, getting a little bit more over the ball, as I say, the top of your shoulder blades there and your head a little bit more kind of flatter to the sky. And the key thing is getting the forearm there and that club shaft in line. Practice it as well. We did the start there where you stand with the golf club now out in front of you. Like we said, we used the example of holding an iPad or a newspaper, or just even holding your sort of knife and fork, your elbows nice and relaxed into your side, and the club and the shaft in line with that forearm. If you can get that better position, tip forward over the golf ball to make it a lot easier now for you sort of swing that golf club back on a more consistent angle. Get the club swinging more towards the hole on a gentle curve, not too much kind of in here and around there. So hope that makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout and I will catch up with you soon, mate. Cheers, buddy.